Hello everybody who is watching this. This is basically me just practicing how to use Angular, because at this moment I was going to create a tutorial on how to use the if statements, but I actually learned a lot about the if statements, more information than I had previously known, so I'm just practicing all of it. Right now, let me just go to WinSCP, which is my FTP application, and I'm in a directory where you are seeing this. This is the directory ang4. I named the directory ang4, so let's get it started. And let's go to app here and go to app component.html. And also let's get into app component. And maybe even app stats. I don't think I'm really going to style anything at all. But if you see in my app component.html, I'm using a lot of ngif statements. And the first, well, let me actually make it large. I think this would be big. Would this be big enough? This would be great. I think people will be able to see it with this. So, with the ngif statement, it has show link. And show link is a property that I have in my component. And at the moment, it has the value of false. So, you know how you typically get the links when you create a new Angular application? Well, maybe this is for people who have never used Angular. If you ever generate a new Angular app, you'll get a couple of links of the tutorials. As you see, it says Tour of Heroes, CLI documentation, Angular blog. But what's more important is the ngif statement. You have to have an asterisk before you put ngif, and you can call whatever value. It doesn't really have to be a Boolean value, but whatever property that has content in it, it will return true, and if it is true, then this content will be shown. And anything that's going to be inside the if statement will be shown. Okay? So here's another one that has ngif has content. If I go to app component, here are all the properties I've made for app component, and I've has content, and it says string yes. So since yes is a value, it's not 0, it's not null, it's not undefined, it's going to output this information. And right now, I was testing like ngifs. I know there's an ng switch statement, which is very interesting, and there's also this new thing that I've seen that I've never actually found out until like last week, which is the ngif, and then you have the then keyword and the else keyword. I was playing around with that. So let's go back to what we're seeing here. So you see content is shown, and it has some dummy text. And the reason why you see it is because has content has the value of yes. So there is content, meaning it's going to return true. Now for this, ngif if total, let's go back to app component, total equals 4. You can actually do less than or greater than values. And since it's 4, the only thing that should be outputted is less than 2, less than 3, and less than 2. And that is happening. Now to this, the property is valid. I created something called is valid, and I put -1, and it actually verified to me that regardless if it's even a negative number, it's still going to output it because there's content, except if you put 0. So let's actually try this out. Let's put 0 here and save it, and since it will automatically update, this should disappear. Let's see if it updated. No, it's still compiling. Also, I should make this bigger too, so people can see it. Boom. Disappears. Also, if I put, since I'm already in the app, if I put total number equals 1, oops. The information you see here should disappear, because total is not greater, it's not going to be greater than 2, 3, or 4. So hopefully it loaded up and it disappeared. Now this for loop, we'll probably talk about that shit later. So we can just remove that. but I do want to pay attention, or do want to focus on this section of code here. So there's an ngif, and it verifies if show link has a value or not, if it's true or not. And if it's true, then you go to show title, which can be a template variable. I don't know if I talked about template variables at all, but template variables can hold values, especially within forms, and it also can be used to target certain forms, to target certain templates or code. So in this particular example, when show link is true, then you execute or you show the information here. Another thing you need to know is you can't actually use like a div tag. So if I put div here and save it, I don't think I'm going to get any errors, but oh shit, it did work. Didn't work before. Didn't work before. That's so interesting. I guess I'm wrong. This is why I'm practicing. So the title is shown. Great. Let's really see what happens. Oh, I didn't save it. Let me save it. Yep, okay, that's true. So you don't really need to use ng template. You could actually use a div tag. That's very interesting. Because I tried to do it before. Maybe I didn't do it correctly, or I thought I did it and I never actually did it. Here's another thing I wanted to say. With ngif, just like with the typical way you do ngif, you put the content. You can either do this, you know, like when it's valid, when there's a value, when it returns true, it's going to show the information in there. But I do want to say, let me take these out for a second. Well, let me just take this out. I do want to say that I've noticed that you can't actually show the value that's inside this div tag. But let's check. Let's double check with that. So let's do, if show link is true, then show link. Maybe it will show the information inside here. Oh, okay. Then show link. I think I know what's going on. I think I was right originally. And with ng template, if I put ng template back and I put show link or show title, it's not going to show this, but it will show animals. And the reason when I put I'm not going to be able to see within this content is because it's looking for a template variable that's within ng template to show any type of results. So I think that is a reason. I don't think this is going to be shown, but I do think the animals or the ng template that has show animals will be shown. Let's see. The animals are shown. Correct. Great. However, if I put show title again, the animals are shown. What? Show title. ng template, show title. The title is shown. I wonder why that's not working. Excuse me? This is strange. What? Maybe I spelled it wrong? Didn't spell it wrong. Screw me? So now I'm confused now. This is why I'm practicing. Then show title, else show animals. Let me look at the show link. Show link is false. Duh. Show link is false. So if I put show link to be true, then this will return true, and then it will show titles. And it will also show the links that's all the way up here because I put ngif show link. And the links are shown, and the title is shown. Alright, great. Great. I think now will be the perfect time to try to learn how to do ngif switch. I think I already know how to do it, but then again I forget a lot, so let's try that again. So let's go to angular.io and hit docs. I should have just put Angular fundamentals. I think this will be in not animations, probably template syntax. Alright, the ngif switch directive. So I'm trying to look into all this stuff here. ngif4 is pretty easy. ngif switch is pretty easy too. Let's not act like it isn't. Now I'm curious if I do need to have custom what was I going to say? Custom routes. Not custom routes. Custom tags. I don't think so. Current item.feature. And if the feature is okay, so I guess current item is the object and the property is feature, and if it has this case, then okay, so this is pretty interesting. Let's go into ngif switch for a second here. So let's go to app component. And let's put in best dessert. Best dessert. I don't know. I don't even know how to spell dessert. And I'll say cheesecake. I think cheesecake is pretty good. I think there's better desserts, but let's just say cheesecake for now. And let's save it. So we have best dessert. And we're going to have a div tag. We're going to create a div tag. And we're going to have an ngif switch. Ooh. See what happens. Wow, okay. Alright, cool. Great. Fantastic. ngif switch. I don't think that's how, oh yeah, that's how it works. Okay, so you have to put it in brackets. That's very interesting. So for people who wanted some type of for else, or like an else if, I'm not for else, an else if statement, I think your best go is this, or I guess not else if. Your best go is for an if and else is this type of expression where first you have the value of the property, and if there's any type of value in it, if it's true, then it will output this. If it's not, it will output that. And you have to put it in ngif templates. But within, well, what's going on here? Whoa, what's going on here? I don't need a span tag, sorry. So let's see, make the expression best dessert. Yes, sir. And if it's cheesecake, I'll put man, you're right. Cheesecake is the shit. And if it's, I don't know, mint ice cream, because I like mint ice cream too. Man, you're also right. Mint ice is the best. And then if it's a switch default, we'll put like, I really just like regular cake. I really just like pound cakes. I really just like chocolate chips or something. I really just like chocolate chips. So, we did this, and now let's see. I think everything's going to be compiled. Let's see what happens when I go back here. I really just like chocolate chips. Hey? Wouldn't the cheesecake work? I wonder why it didn't work. Let's put a tab in here and save it. We like chocolate chips. So it says here, ngif switch JS, like the JavaScript switch statements, displays one element from another several possible elements. Based on a switch condition, Angular puts out only the selected element into the DOM. ngif switch is actually a set of 3 cooperating directives: ngif switch case, and ngif switch default. As in the following example, ngif switch is the controller directive binding to the expression. So it doesn't make sense why it just put out that in case, that switch statement. I don't understand why that worked. I mean, why that didn't work. I'm sorry. Doesn't make any sense to me. Angular puts only the selected element into the DOM. Oh, I think I know what it is that I'm not doing correctly. I need to put it in single quotes. You don't put it in single quotes. I actually remember this. You have to put it in single quotes. So you have to put it double quotes and then put the value in single quotes in order for it to recognize what you outputted. Man, you're right. Cheesecake is the shit. That's very interesting. So that's the only thing that's wrong. So there's 3 different statements that you can do with ngif switch. First, you can grab the property and whatever value it has, you have to put it in double quotes. The ngif switch case, put in double quotes. And then if you're going to have the value expressed as a string, you have to put in single quotes. I'm curious if I put it as a number. So let me use the ngif switch for total. And I'm just going to call this total, because I already have a property of total and it equals 1. And I'm going to put 1, 2. Hey man, I'll put like, hey man, I only have 1 girlfriend. And the second value is, ah, you suck, bro. I got 2, and they don't know about each other. And then the default is just, I'm just going to leave it default. I really just like chocolate chips. So let's see what happens when we do it that way. Yeah, so if you have a number, if you have just like a number, you don't have to put it in a single quote, but if your value is a string, you do have to add single quote inside so it can recognize that it is a string and then output the correct switch case. So that's what I figured out for that. I think this was a good practice of learning how to use switch and ngif and all that other stuff. I mean, I already know the information, but no, it's definitely clicking with me. I appreciate you for watching.